Well, if you don't mind me saying so, we think of leadership people and people who give business advice. You're extremely badass compared to what the general idea of what those leadership coaches and people who advise business are kind of thought to be the stereotype of that mold. I think you exceed that with badassness by quite a bit.
Well, thank
So how do you apply all these meetings of people that you met along the way? How does that apply to your consultation on leadership as it applies to business?
Well, even though my ride was a solo motorcycle ride, it didn't start out that way. It started out with a group of guys, and things happen and change. But leadership is much like motorcycling. It is a team sport in every sense of the word. You are working with a group of people who have a common interest, who are setting a goal to head toward a destination as yet to be determined. You've got to figure out where you're going, how you're going to get there, what resources you need, and you need to have a plan, because there's going to be a plan on paper, but there's going to be a plan when you actually hit the road. And so you've got to make sure that whatever happens, once you take off, everybody moves together. And listen, things are going to happen. Sometimes the wheels are going to come off. Sometimes the tank's going to get low, but you've got to start and finish together. So that's always been my approach. It's interesting that you mentioned, and I appreciate the compliment about being badass in leadership. I have a lot of friends and colleagues that are leadership trainers and speakers. They're great, but all of them have expressed to me at one time or the other, you know, man, you're so lucky. You got that full throttle leadership thing. That's so cool. So I am completely blessed to be able to do what I love to do from a passion standpoint, motorcycling, and really bring it into teachable, transferable lessons to corporations. And I work with a wide variety of large corporations, and you mentioned some of the ones in my intro, but also small entrepreneurs. You know, it's about service. And it's about sacrifice. You can't lead, you can't ask people to follow you if you're not willing to give them something. And so I find those lessons that I've learned across 40 years on a motorcycle completely applicable.